I want to talk loud.
What is that in front of you on the
What?
tripod?
It's just a holster for my gun,
Why would you put your gun on a tripod?
so I can have it at the desk.
You
And it'd be
guys,
stable.
how many
That's
guns?
a little too Texas, buddy.
Well,
How many guns do you guys have? It's a very American question.
I have 3.
Do you have any
I'm not afraid to answer that.
I have more than 3.
Do you really?
I do.
Really?
Because, yeah.
Do you guys
I
have
didn't
any?
know that about
Do you guys have any pistols? Well,
Yes.
Yeah, I have a revolver.
I want to get a pistol, and I feel like the smartest thing to do is to put a silencer on it. Why would you not?
Illegal.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, that's illegal as fuck.
I feel like the most sane thing to do is commit a felony.
Well, like, I don't know. Put a silencer on it. Make it quiet.
So-
I can, like, shoot my lawn in the backyard or something.
Well, that's exactly the issue, Shane.
So
I'm just shooting trees in my backyard. Little,
Technically-
like empty beer bottles.
technically, I have an illegal gun.
And that's the other thing
Technically.
too. Okay,
Glad you're disclosing.
No,
a lot of people have guns. A lot of people have illegal guns. I feel like more than half the people I know that have guns have them illegally.
Well, it's a
and
22.
it's like, what?
Mine's a 22 rifle from Vietnam. It was
See,
like
that's cool.
issued in Vietnam. It's got like the original strap and all that.
Yeah, it's like a piece of history.
Right. So I think technically it's illegal that I have that.
You need to talk to Austin. He has a World War II 22.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I have a well my family has, I don't know where it's at now, but the Nazi helmet and the Nazi
Luger.
Luger.
The Luger.
Because when my great uncle was in World War II, he was a prisoner at Auschwitz.
Oh, shit.
And
Whoa.
yeah, so listen to this shit. He was in there for like 2 months. So he knew that the camp was going to get liberated. He knew what the warning sign, like when it was coming. And I guess my uncle straight up was like to the guy who was in charge, he's like, I'm going to fucking kill you. When that day comes, I'm killing you. And they would just laugh at him. But when that day came, he fucking killed him, popped his helmet on, grabbed his guns, started popping people left and right. And I'm going, damn, dude.
Yep.
Because when I knew my Uncle Rich, he was just this little Polish guy who used to tell Polish jokes all the time. Like, it's the stupidest joke ever. So he would be like, did I ever tell you about the conversation I had with my neighbor? No, what was it? So every day he would walk down the street with a giant pole. I'm like, okay. He's like, so one day I just decided to ask him, I go, are you a pole vaulter? And he goes, I am. But how did you know my name was Vaulter? and to find out that this dude went like full on Rambo, it just started like popping people and then like took the guy's helmet. Like, that's the most kick-ass story I've ever heard. And so the way he was captured, this is the craziest thing. So where they were stationed, they were on like patrol, just looking for people, looking for Nazis.
Mm-hmm.
And they would drive around in their Jeep. They would take turns sleeping on the hood of the Jeep because it was warm.
Mm-hmm.
His guy that he was with, that he was partnered with, went down to the river to piss. Soldiers came, got my uncle, and then drove off. So when the guy came back up from the river, noticed he was gone,
he was
put 2 and 2 together.
Damn.
Wild.
Damn.
Absolutely wild. What a time.
Got caught taking a piss.
The only-
or got caught. While
Got caught with his pants down.
Right
Yeah.
now.
The only person like in my family, I think it was like my great grandfather is a veteran. Like I'm sure I have like guys that served in my family, but like none that I have war stories from. Like I always thought that was a really cool thing.
That's
Like
the only one I got, I think.
people that have had that, like have a living relative that was in some kind
Yeah,
of significant like,
never-
American war.
Yeah, never had a relative that had like a war story or anything to tell me.
Yeah.
I was very warless.
I got the Pidge.
Yeah.
I just remember like as a kid, like hearing that story and going, I mean, that's a cool story. I doubt that happened though. And then like the one day, because like he kept it all in a closet. And then the one time I was over there and he was like, yeah, look, this, and I'm like, my
You're
God.
like, oh,
I'm like,
shit.
I'm like, oh, so that's like true. Oh, okay. You've killed a man.
Is it? I know it's illegal to like profit. Is it illegal to own Nazi memorabilia, like
Yes.
actual Nazi items?
Yes.
Hmm.
Okay, that's
Hmm.
what I thought. Because like I
Interesting.
know it's illegal to like sell and profit from it.
Right.
but
And
don't know
that's
the
why I have a
legality
World War II helmet and a
Correct.
World.
Correct.
That's something of like how illegal is it really?
Hypothetically.
But how legal is that really? Like, how much trouble are you gonna get in?
See, that's
like, are cops gonna come busting on your door because you have,
in Joe Biden's America? No. So, but that is a good question because I noticed that like flea markets, they'll have
Yeah.
like like memorabilia.
You see
So
war
maybe
stuff,
maybe it's and you can buy Mein Kampf.
You can,
Yeah.
yeah.
Terrible.
I know.
Grammar is off. You can't. No, honestly, you
Bad
can hardly
read.
read it.
Bad
It's
Well, I
read all
can't
all
read
around.
German, so I can't.
Well, no,
read at
I'm
all.
saying like the English
Yeah, I can't
translation
read.
is
Yeah.
not much better.
I can't read.
yeah, straight up.
How many times are we going to talk about Nazis today? We talked about Nazis for like an hour on the show.
Well, it's
Oh.
weird. Okay, so really quick,
Hey, so it's
The-
weird, right?
the-
Fucking
no-
How many
Nazis.
No,
Nazi jokes you make, right, guys?
the whole like yeah,
I know that's probably 20% of the population. That's not everybody. I know my state rep. Well, no, I'm just I'm
got
just
you, I got
saying.
you.
But
You have-
no,
but you have to
history
remember,
is taught
too.
wrong. I this might be me because I went to a school that was older.
I think it is just you.
Did you work?
Not
Did
gonna
you
lie.
did you work today, Jake?
I did.
Okay,
Why?
it's getting real
Yeah.
political in
This
here.
guy, this guy
Oh, no.
fucks.
Well,
dude.
no,
this
I'm
guy
just-
fucks.
No, I'm just
I was
saying.
talking about robots and shit, and he was like, "Yeah, the government agenda is so
Well,
fucking. Go out and talk to your state representative
No,
and
but
suck
serious.
his dick, man."
No, like that's how that
Like,
works.
whoa,
though. Like
what?
people
talking
like
about,
like,
about
they
AI
just don't
robots.
get
and this
it.
guy like,
Man, I've
But
been hanging on
took
to
a
a point
hard
about robots for a
right
minute.
turn.
But like no, like I'm just saying, like that's the way that shit works because that's what we have right now to make it go full
Yeah, no, you're not
circle.
wrong.
But that's what we have going on right now. We have an entire generation that was raised by, what you figure Twitter came out in 2006.
So I say this all the time, and like,
Not to get too political,
yeah, whoa.
not to get political, but fuck your senator.
just talk to them.
So I say this all the time, and I'm sure I've said it here, but our generation specifically is the last one that grew up with the internet as it became the global phenomenon that it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we're like the last people who were there for floppy disks and AOL all the way to what
Hell
we
yeah.
have now.
The
And,
Pizza
like,
Hut demo.
Yeah,
discs.
dude. Oh, the Pizza Hut demo.
Hell
Fucking
yeah.
game jams. Oh,
Right?
right? But like, even now, I don't understand what's going on forward. And to think that like AI is going to keep progressing and it's just going to be there at birth for people is
Right.
terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's the point we're getting to, I think, and I mean, I agree with your sentiment of like, I don't know, it's just,
And
what do we do about that? Like, I guess my big tackle of this whole like, is AI the next like human? Is that like what?
Will Smith had a great movie about that.
No, but like, yeah, it's funny, but like, we're getting to a
Oh
point
no,
now.
you're not.
We're
wrong.
getting to a point now where it's like, they're gonna start raising our kids. It's gonna be integrated into reality.
We're
like,
gonna be the Jetsons
yeah.
soon.
I don't know, and maybe again, this is all crazy talk, but like,
That's scary though.
No, to that point though, I had this thought the other day. Also, by the way, just so I can get it in here in a sidebar, we are live on the Discord.
Oh, great.
Yeah, we've been live on the Discord for a minute now, so
Shout out.
if y'all are
Awesome.
listening, I see the pigeons in the audience.
Shout
if y'all
out.
are listening or y'all want to chime in, you can certainly raise your hand to
Yeah.
chime in as well. We should be
Yeah.
able to take calls and such.
mm,
But to that,
Sorry for getting political.
but to that, I had the thought the other day. 'cause
Normally
I
that'd
was-
be edited out.
Yeah, I was going to the store and I'm like, I'm the kind of guy who when I go to the store alone, I like to either have earbuds or something just because I like to zone everyone out and like, go in and get my shit. Right.
Okay.
yeah,
I don't like to interact with people. I'm very like, I'm not an antisocial person, but if I'm there just to like do personal shit and go home,
mhm.
I'm trying to get out of there. I'm not trying to
Interesting.
like.
Okay.
So like, and people piss me off, especially if I'm like, I'm never in a good mood going to the store unless I like have spending money, right?
Right.
Mhm.
So like, I'm just trying to get in, get my shit, get out, not get distracted, right? So I'm the kind of person that has recently started using earbuds or something when I go to the store. But when I don't, I'm just like, all right, dead set on here's where I need to go. Don't associate with anyone. Leave. And I always feel bad doing it because I'm like, I had this thought the other day. I was walking into Tractor Supply, and I'm walking in there, and I'm like, as I make a beeline past the lady at the front who's as high as I high, right? Just make a beeline. I'm just not looking at anyone, and like it's pretty empty. There's a couple of workers walking around, just having a good time, and I'm like, it's so weird to me that we live in a day and age where this is the norm of like, I'm just gonna be quiet, go in here, do my thing, and leave. And not that that's wrong, but like, imagine this in like the '60s. You'd be having a fucking conversation with someone at the door and walking like, I don't know. It just
Would
seems
you
weird.
though?
We're not. it seems weird we're not as even just like walking down the street was my next analogy. Was like when I walk down the street again, I'm not like going out of my way to talk. I'm on my phone. I'm waiting for my food.
Yeah.
I'm on my phone. Like
That's
waiting
the-
for food in the '60s, you'd probably be fucking talking to someone else waiting in line for your food.
That's the sentiment of like your neighbors, like you're friends with
Yeah.
all your neighbors, and like your whole community is very. It seems almost like distant or like vintage now to like walk or be in a neighborhood where like everybody knows each other and they all meet up on Wednesdays to have poker night.
Right.
And the guy, like that.
Tupperware party.
That seems like an outdated concept at this point, just because it's the internet.
we're
and
a
stuff like
shitty
that.
generation.
Yeah, we all look at our phones and talk to those instead of
Yeah.
Is it that, or is that we're more self-aware because we have news articles being pushed?
I think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah. See,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I think the reason, like, because you go on Twitter and you see something goofy like neighbor has. Well, there's that thing that happened in Parma. Guy, domestic violence. Family member
That's
went
every
there.
day in Parma.
Right, but
Yeah.
family member went there to get the guns out, so everything was good. Smelled something in the basement. Went down there. Dead body since August.
Oh yeah. So
Oh.
yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
So we hear that story and we're going, which one of my neighbors have that? I don't know.
Right,
I'm not
right.
talking to
Yeah.
them. So I
Well,
think
fuck.
that-
I mean,
that's
when
an
I first
issue.
moved in here, it was like the day before you were coming. Something was happening where 2 streets down in a church, they found a shit ton of bodies.
Oh yeah.
Like right after I moved in here,
Right.
and they
Nice.
just found like 32 bodies.
Nice.
Right.
And I'm like, I kind of want to drive over there and see
Yeah.
out of more. Like, I don't want to see bodies, but like, I want to see what the fuck's going on 2
Yeah.
streets down from me.
Right.
And like, should I have moved here? You know?
I
But-
was.
but at
I
the
think
same
it's just
time,
that it's more relevant in our heads.
But at the same time, like I do think that's a big factor as like why you don't want to. That's more of a reason I don't want to associate with my neighbors because like I'm gonna live my life, and I also like privacy when I'm at home.
Right.
So like I'm gonna live my life. I don't really want anyone talking to me, and like I'm friendly with my neighbor, but like I don't know anything about her personal life, and I don't really want to. You know,
Right.
Mhm.
I know her name. That's about it.
Right.
So like I'm cool with my other neighbor. No idea. Never spoken to the guy in my life. I've waved to him a couple times cutting the grass, but
Did you get a wave back?
I did.
Your best
and,
There you
friends.
go.
and
Yeah.
he's waved to me too. So like
Wow.
we're
There you
go.
we're
Yeah, you guys are
simpatico.
cool.
Yeah.
Simpatico.
Like that is as close as we need to be. But like stories on the news and you see like that,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they're getting constantly fed to you. That's a reason I don't want to make that kind of connection or go down my neighborhood. But like standing in line at the store or like waiting for food, and I'm just like, even because I've had instances, I go to Get Go all the time to the diner and wait for my food. So you got to stand there by the window, and it's a gas station, so there's people
Yeah.
coming in and out.
Right.
Yeah.
But like I've literally gotten off work and be like, I just want to grab food. I'll stand there and wait, right? And I'll be standing there at like 2 a.m. I'm like, I really don't want to just stand here on my phone. You know, I don't want to be looking at my screen or whatever. And I'm just
yeah.
tired, and I'm just like standing there, and there's 3 people doing the same thing that like could be at least conversing or like, hey, how are you? You know, something like that. But like, it's just not commonplace anymore. You
Did
know,
you
it's
ever?
weird.
Did you ever do the hey? How are you?
No, because I
Right.
yeah.
It's
Well, maybe it just takes one, Jordan.
Well,
it's the age of information.
why
we live
don't
in a,
you?
We live in a time
have.
where it's all there all at once because everyone can post everything, and so everyone does post everything, and so it's like a huge influx. It's exponential growth. It's the internet. Like I don't know. It's bad for us. I think we've gone to like we went too far and we didn't know type thing. Right?
I've also been turning
Too
my phone on
quick.
Do Not Disturb, and it's a lifesaver, dude. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
I put my phone on Do Not Disturb sometimes. Like I'll do it like at night if I'm like going to sleep or something like that. If I have my alarm set, I need to wake up at a certain time. I don't know. There are certain times when
We got a comment, by the way.
Oh.
Has Shayne ever gotten complaints about the smell of weed from his neighbors?
in college, yes. Yes, all the time. Not gonna lie. It's stinky stuff. I never think about how stinky it is. I haven't been smoking as much though, actually, Pidge. I don't know. I haven't been smoking nicotine or weed as much. Just it's one of those things where I'm learning like there's no finite date on any of that. It's kind of just like I don't think this is cool right now. I don't like this. It's not doing good for me. I don't have,
Fair enough.
I can't like I can't put myself in a box of like I'm done with this or I'm doing this now. This is a thing I do. It's just
Yeah.
if it's around, because like I don't know, it gets to that point, and I see it. I see a lot of conversations about it in those kind of like stoner type communities of like, yeah, okay, it's cool, but you need to have like
It's not an identity.
well, it's not that it's not an identity, but like people live their lives on the like, I need to smoke or bad things will happen.
Yeah.
Or I need to smoke. That's just how I've done it. I've been smoking for so long that it's just I smoke because I smoke because I need to smoke, and I don't know what my life would be like if I didn't smoke.
That's called addiction.
I was gonna say that's the exact reason I never agree with the statement that marijuana is not addictive.
Yeah.
Well,
Because
it is.
I was gonna say there is like scientific shit that it's got non-addictive properties, right? But
Mhm.
like, you ever met someone who smoked for fucking 10+ years? Like, I know people who are like, oh yeah, sorry, I was annoying in the morning. I hadn't smoked yet. I get like,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
that's a crutch, dude. That's an addiction.
Yeah. No, and it's
Like, trust me, I'm the same way with these fucking energy drinks.
Right.
But like, hey, I could be doing ketamine.
it
Jesus.
it's all flowing to me. It's all I'll have my influx and I'll have my outflux, my downbeat, right? And
Right.
like that's I think how at least everyone is, but then like I don't like that to be like confined and I am this now and so I do this and so this is how it has to be.
You know what though?
That's too much of I have to like knee jerk that too quickly.
I think that goes back to kind of what we talked about last episode because you said the upswing and downswing.
Yeah.
I notice if I'm like on a downswing, this thing's in my mouth constantly.
Lot,
I'm
more,
just
lot more Nick.
Well,
ripping on it.
Yeah.
Like if I'm at work and I'm having a rough
100%.
day, it was to the point. So the other day there was a fire downtown. Our alarm went off because that fire. I thought I was vaping so much in the booth that I made the fire alarm go off because I was ripping this thing, right? But
So
like
ripping dick dingers.
so like right. So like I think I actually think it's pretty cool that you're just like, yeah, you know, when I'm done. I'll go back to it when I want to.
Yeah.
I think that's how it should be too.
It was a video, of course, on the internet. Someone made the sentiment of like, you can't do that because I know I have an addictive personality and I know myself, what I at least believe better than most people or a large margin. So it's like, I have to be able to allow myself to dip down when I know I'm going to. I can't just
Mhm.
deny that and then I'm going to break it and I'm going to feel bad and it's going to suck and I'm going to be sad about it. And so then I'm just going to keep doing it more to cope. And then it's like, well, I'm already here. So I'm going to.
Right.
No, I just have to let it be what it is. And so it's like, for me right now, it's just not that cool.
Right.
It's just not
No, I
that
got
cool.
it.
Like talk to me in 6 months. I'm going to be, chiefing doobies and ripping bongs and like,
Big
that's
doinks out in Amish
yeah,
country.
right. Like I'm going to, it ebbs and flows. And I think that's how everyone is in life. And it's just, we are coming to a point in society where like, you have to
We
be
do live in a society.
I am this person, so I do this thing, or I live this way of life, so I can't do that. And
Yeah.
it's like, well, you're human. At the end of the day, you're human, and you're going to give into an urge, or get into a new hobby, or
Right. Mhm.
or fall in love. Like you're going to have swings in your emotion that you can't control necessarily, and so you can't try to control that.
I don't know. I think that's a really good way to live, I guess, is like just understanding that you're gonna have those peaks and valleys in it.
Yeah.
And like it's not something that you're forcing yourself to lean off of or anything like that. You're just understanding like, hey, I don't really want to do this. And you're gonna have that period where you don't, and then you're gonna have that period where you do.
Right.
Like, don't get me wrong. I don't subscribe to the ideology when people say that they can't quit cold turkey something. Because if I can watch my 68-year-old grandmother who smoked her entire life, at least a carton a day or at least a pack a day, quit cold turkey, anyone can.
Yeah,
Like you're not going to tell me that you
I-
can't. But like also on that same vein,
Mhm.
I think it's as impressive or as important for someone in that scenario where it's like I understand that like, hey, I'm not feeling it right now. I'm gonna lay off,
Yeah.
or
Yeah. No, that's good
Balance.
stuff. Right.
It's funny that you bring up that term, cold turkey. I was looking into it. We don't the origin of the term cold turkey is in very much ambiguity. There's not like there's a couple explanations of like I think in the 30s or 40s. I have the art or the Wikipedia thing up here, but like people the term talk turkey, meaning like you're essentially like you're talking out of your ass or you're talking
Yeah.
like big game or something
like
like
a turkey.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Goblin.
So, hold on, I want to
Did you research this after I asked you where out of pocket came from?
No.
Okay.
I was just interested in the term, and I think Thanksgiving kind of got me into like, and I'm not smoking as much, so I was like, okay, both of these things. I was like, what does cold turkey
You
actually
just
mean?
activated that part of your brain of curiosity of
Yeah.
random bullshit.
Yeah,
That's how I live my life 24/7.
Exactly.
What's funny is I know I've looked it up before.
It's cold
I don't-
turkey.
Yeah.
Really?
And as he was saying it, I'm kind of like this. Yeah, I kind of remember this. I don't remember it all though.
Yeah, I didn't like super read into all of it because it was kind of boring.
Right.
But
While you pull it up, I've got
Mhm.
two. That one is my favorite saying of all time, and it makes no sense. And I really want to know where it comes from. Screwed the pooch. Who started that? Who said? Who thought of? You
Yeah.
really fucked the dog on that one, John. Who, that shouldn't be a thing. And also, more than one way to skin a cat. Why is that a saying?
Where does that come from?
Who
I don't know.
initially said that? And like someone was cool with it, because like that had to be passed on. So like two dudes are just hanging out and one of them fucks something up and it kind of works. It's like, well, you know, there's more than one way to skin a cat. And person two just kind of looks at him side eyes like, I guess. Guess you're right.
Or he said it and he was like, "You son of a bitch."
That there is.
That's the greatest thing I've ever heard in my life.
I've skinned so many cats so many ways.
That's funny shit.
I've never skinned a cat the same way
I like-
twice. That's what I'm saying.
I like that you gotta, like, when somebody says something negative to you, you gotta be like a duck's ass to water and just let it beat off.
I've never heard that in my
Because
life.
you've
That's
never,
amazing.
you've never seen a duck's ass that's wet.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
I've never heard that.
I
in
always
my
say,
life.
I always say that to people. Like, if somebody says something just real negative, like they start getting pissed off, hey, I gotta be like a duck's ass to water. Let it beat off.
Kind of in the.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
I've heard a new way to deflect, like people insulting you, or like if you get. I heard it in the context of if someone says something out of pocket to you, but like if someone like
Which, by the way, we've determined out of pocket came from being not relaxed. Like your fists are up ready
Yeah.
to fight. Your hands
yeah,
are relaxed in your pockets.
Your hands are relaxed.
At
in
least
your
that's where I
pocket.
think
Okay,
it
that
came
makes
from.
sense.
Yeah.
And so you say something out of pocket, it's like you're talking with your hands.
It's
you're
like the
talking
gloves are
flagrant.
off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But if someone like, so if someone insults you, or if you get like a bad diss and you're like, ah, fuck, that hurt. The rebuttal is supposed to be, you're good. Just say, oh, you're good. No, you're good. Don't worry about it. You're good. No, you're good.
Huh.
So like, Jordan, insult me right now. Say something. Yeah.
Can't say that. Fuck you, piss boy.
Oh, you're good. No, you're good. No, man, you're good. You're good, man.
I like that a lot,
And
actually.
then just move on.
Yeah, I don't
Because
know.
what are they gonna do? Yeah, I am good. I'm great.
Yeah, yeah. It's just like a.
Grand, wonderful.
But if they're pissed off enough, they might, and then you're just like, yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, you're
Hey,
good.
Yeah,
that's good.
no, that's pretty
You're
good.
good, man. Yeah, don't worry about it. You're
Hey,
good.
for you.
Yeah,
Actually,
it's
no.
yeah.
I have noticed myself welling a lot more.
Well,
Want a break from the ads? If you tap now to watch a short video, you'll receive 30 minutes of ad-free music.